Hello again, everyone. It's Miranda here from Ninja Teacher, and I am back with another travel vlog. So I know a lot of the content we put out is about teaching English, about our TESOL program, and a lot of other exciting things to do here in Vietnam. But a main reason that people want to come and teach abroad and start working abroad is also to have the opportunity to travel, and that is exactly what we're doing right now. There are many places that you can travel while teaching in Vietnam, many of them being in the country, but as far as international travel goes, it's also incredibly affordable, especially compared to flights from the US, where I'm from. We can fly internationally from Vietnam for cheaper than most national flights in the US. So this week, we are here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, which is one of the cheapest international flights from Saigon. At the end of this vlog, I'll go through and break down the prices of everything that we've spent. Because it's quite affordable to come here to Kuala Lumpur, and because Malaysia is pretty affordable in general, we're spending a bit more on this trip. We're staying in a really nice hotel. We're gonna go out to some nicer things as well as street food. We might splurge on a massage. Drinks are a bit more expensive in Malaysia. So we're spending more than you really have to. You can go even more of a budget, stay in a hostel, stick with total street food the whole time. But I will break down all the costs for you and the categories and everything so you can get an idea of exactly what this kind of vacation looks like for you. But for now, we'll be here for the next 4 days in Kuala Lumpur, and we are really looking forward to this escape, getting out of Saigon for a while and exploring a country that I haven't been to yet. So we'll check out the rest of the trip. Good morning. It is our first full day here. Last night we landed around 4 or so, got to the hotel around 5. What we did yesterday is we unpacked, relaxed, did a little bit of research on what we wanted to do for the next few days, a little bit extra research. We had a great idea in mind for dinner. We had heard a lot about these hawker food courts, basically, where you can get street food from a bunch of different hawker stands, and we found one that looked great. Got to the mall that it was in and found that it was totally closed. There was nothing open. So we ended up going out and going to Nando's as recommended by a few friends from the UK and South Africa, and had some very authentic Malaysian cuisine. But it was great, and then we ended up walking through a night market nearby. We shot some footage of that, grabbed some snacks, but by that point we were pretty full, and then called it an evening. So this morning what we're about to head out and do is grab some breakfast or maybe lunch at this point at an Indian hawker stall that's about 20 minutes from where we're staying. This has been featured on quite a few other YouTube videos and blogs, and I found it in my research leading up to the trip, and we have to try it. So we'll show you some footage, but basically this stall sells a lot of things, but they're really famous for their tea and for their roti special, in which they make the roti bread and then put curry on it and poached eggs and some other things. So we'll show you that, and then after that I think we're going to head to the aquarium and KLCC Park, which is right by the Twin Towers. So that's at least the first half of our day. We'll see what we do with the rest of it, but come join us for our breakfast till we start the day. Okay, so that breakfast was so good. I didn't even film talking about it at all. But where we went was the Mansion Tea Stall. Like I mentioned earlier, it's really pretty famous. A lot of bloggers and vloggers have written about it. But we got the roti chennai special, which, like I said, is roti, some curry and egg, and it was amazing. So was the tea. And then as we were leaving, we looked down into the river here, and we saw a couple monitor lizards, wild monitor lizards, fighting. So that's what we've been doing, chasing them along the path to watch them, which is pretty cool. And now we're gonna head to the aquarium from here. Alright, so we just finished up at the Kuala Lumpur Aquarium. On a scale of 10, I'm going to give it a generous 3. It was pretty rough. It's very small, $20 for admission per person, which is pretty high. And more importantly, the tanks and enclosures were really, really small. They really didn't have anything in them. It was the first time I've ever seen otters look miserable and bored. There was nothing for them to play with. It was dark in there. Some of the fish I'm pretty sure weren't in the right habitat as well, and a lot of people were sticking their hands in the water. It was just sad. But the one good thing about it, the redeeming quality, was that it does have an underwater tunnel that you go through for about 10 minutes. You stand on a moving track and you can see sea turtles and sharks and a bunch of other really cool, huge fish. Overall though, I would not recommend it, especially for the price. But now we're in KLCC Park, and so we're gonna walk around, get some nature. It's super humid outside today, so we'll see how long we last. Okay, so as I mentioned, we are staying in a pretty nice hotel. We kind of went mid-range as far as our budget goes for this trip. I am splitting it with someone, so keep in mind that brings the prices down a little bit. But I am staying at the Ibis Hotel in Kuala Lumpur City Center, and I'm gonna give you a quick tour of our room here on the 28th floor. So the room is small but very nice and super modern. So we just have a queen bed here. The lighting's quite nice and there's some art. We've got TV here, little mini bar area, just with some coffee, water, a fridge. The desk, a really great view. It's a bit smoggy today. I'm not sure if Kuala Lumpur is always like this, but you can see here a little bit that there are the Twin Towers. And then I'll show you our bathroom. Again, small but nice, clean bathroom. We have a rain shower and everything you need. So, like I mentioned, that's our room. It was about $48 US per night when we booked this trip, and we're staying for 4 nights. Hostels run very cheap. There were other cheaper hotel options. We chose this because the rooms are nice. There's a bar on the rooftop. There is a rooftop pool, a spa, a gym, so a lot of amenities, and it's really centrally located. We're walking distance to the Twin Towers, to some markets and other sites that we want to see. Today we're spending the morning and early afternoon exploring the botanical gardens here in Kuala Lumpur, and we've started off in the butterfly park. There are hundreds of butterflies here and some of them are huge, and it's really cool. It's actually a really big garden area that you can walk through. There's tons of wildlife, not just butterflies. We've seen koi fish, there are frogs. And it really is amazing seeing all of these different butterflies around, and it's a nice way to start our explorations today.
What are you doing?
Trying to hold very still so that one will land on me. Hasn't worked yet. You have to focus.
Okay, we're running low on batteries, so hopefully we'll get footage from this, but we are now at the Kale Bird Park, which is within the Botanical Gardens area. This is the world's largest free-flight walk-in aviary, and it is massive, and there are hundreds, maybe thousands of birds here. We've just gotten here. There's also a ton of monkeys right outside. Pretty sure I'm going to become one of those people who gets my phone or something stolen because I really wanted to film it, but they started coming right at me. But anyways, we'll try and get some footage here in the bird park. It looks awesome so far, and we would highly recommend it just from being able to walk around it on the outside.
Are you getting it?
Okay, so we have come down to the KL Forest Eco Park, which is part of the last preserved rainforest here in the center of the city. Unfortunately, it's famous for its canopy walk, which are these hanging suspended rope bridges that you can walk through the canopy of the rainforest, and those are closed for maintenance. So there's not really much else. We did see some monkeys and some terrifying spiders and some signs about snakes and other creatures that could kill you, but we're gonna move on to our next destination now. Alright, so we're here at the National Mosque. I think it's going to be our last major stop for the day. Just to give you a little bit of background about Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur, if you aren't aware, it's a really, really unique country. Malaysia, though it's not that large geographically, has three main ethnic groups. So you have the Malay, which make up around 40%, the Chinese that make up around 40%, and about 10% Indian. So those are the three main ethnic groups here in Malaysia. They are all Malaysian, but people look quite different when you're here on the streets. Also, due to that breakup, there are some differences in various religions here. So though Malaysia is technically a secular country, the national religion is Islam. And when I looked it up, I believe it's about 60% of Malaysians practice Islam. And that is primarily the Malay group. Other religions include Buddhism, Christianity, Chinese religions, and so on. But in general, the largest group is the Muslim group. So we're here at the National Mosque, which is the main mosque here in Kuala Lumpur, and we're gonna go inside and check it out. here on our last full day in Kuala Lumpur, and today we've taken a trip just outside of the city center to see what is probably Malaysia's most well-known tourist attraction, and that is the Batu Caves. The Batu Caves are the largest Hindu memorial or monument outside of India, and it is comprised of almost 300 steps that go up to a series of caves. It's a pilgrimage site for Hindus throughout the world, and it is beautiful. So we're gonna head up there, make the trek, check out the main cave and maybe a couple of the other ones, and try to avoid getting anything stolen from the monkeys, which are very present among the whole hike of the steps. I'm kidding. Alright, so today has been great so far. It is just after 2 p.m. so we started the morning at Batu Caves, and then we decided to go check out another mosque today. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I will butcher it, but it was beautiful. We've got footage of it, and I will include the name and a link to Google Maps in the video description for anyone that's interested. But we also got a free tour of that mosque. The woman was really informative. We chatted a lot about Islam and about the mosque itself and the architecture, and that was great. And then we went from there to Brickfields, which is the Little India neighborhood here in Kuala Lumpur, to have lunch at Visalachi's, which I found through recommendations on blogs, and we had a traditional banana leaf lunch. The man there, who I think was the owner, was extremely helpful and friendly. He guided us through everything. And then at the end of our meal, for those of you who don't know, with traditional Indian food and especially these banana leaf lunches, you typically eat with your hand. So you eat with your right hand only, and you basically scoop up stuff and put it into your mouth, rice and curries and things. At the end of our meal, I realized that the spices and the curries had dyed my manicure orange. So don't know if the camera will focus, but that's my left hand, so that's the untainted manicure. And here's my right hand, which I was eating with. So you can see the two nails here. The difference is in the shade. I now have an updated manicure, I guess. They're orange. I've washed them a lot and it's not changing. So I guess it's just probably the turmeric or something in the food that just totally changed the shade of my nails. But next we are going to head to a mall. Kuala Lumpur is pretty famous for shopping malls. Malaysia has some massive ones. We saw similar things in the Philippines. There's big shopping culture, and the malls here are not just stores. There are typically tons of entertainment options. The mall that we're about to go to is the 5th largest building in the world in terms of square footage. There are not only shops and restaurants, there are 5 sections of a full-size theme park inside the mall. There's a 48-lane bowling alley. This place is supposedly massive. So we're gonna go explore, maybe do some shopping, maybe grab some donuts because we heard there was a Krispy Kreme there and that sounds pretty good. And then we will finish off our evening tonight, our last night here, with a fancy massage at our hotel spa. So come with us and let's check out the 5th largest building in the world. Okay, this mall is crazy. We've probably been here for about 2 hours now, and I don't think we've gotten through even a fourth of it. We're gonna call it a night. I'm standing in between a like 40-lane bowling alley, which has pool tables and darts and archery range, and we've done a little bit of shopping. I got 4 shirts and it equaled out to about $20 US. We're definitely in a cheaper area of the mall, but that's pretty good. So we're gonna head home now and maybe grab some dinner and then go to our massages tonight at the spa at our hotel. All right, we're back from our trip now. We've been back for a couple days, and I just wanted to finish off this video going over the budget like I promised so that you can get an idea of if this is a realistic trip for you coming from Saigon. So I mentioned earlier in the video, we did spend a little bit more on this trip. We went for a 4-star hotel. We chose a flight that was in the afternoon, so we didn't have to wake up super early. This was a mid-range budget. You could definitely do it cheaper, but just to get an idea, if you want to do a nicer vacation, this is exactly what the breakdown looked like. So for the flight, we spent $95.51 per ticket. For the hotel per person, we split that queen room. It was $96.84 for 4 nights. On food total per person, we spent $69.05. On transportation, which was Grab the whole time that we were there, Grab cars were very cheap and they were more affordable for 2 people than doing public transport. If you're alone, the bus might be a better option. On Grab total, we spent $44.63 per person. And then finally, for miscellaneous spending, like entrances to some of the parks that you saw, massages that we got, which we definitely could have done without and spent a little bit more on, shopping, things like that, things that aren't actually totally necessary for the trip. We spent a total of $125.87 per person. Keep in mind about 50 of that per person was a massage, and that's just something that we added on because we could within our budget. But total, so that was everything that we spent for this 4-night trip. Total, we spent $431.90 per person, and it was well worth it. So for the flights, which is just about a 2-hour flight, a really nice hotel, going out for drinks sometimes, going to restaurants anytime we wanted to, shopping, getting a massage, just a little over $400, and it was a great trip. I highly recommend going to Kuala Lumpur while you're living and teaching in Vietnam. It's short, it's affordable, and there's so much to see there. We really thought that 4 days might be a little bit too much, but we didn't even get to explore half of the things that we had laid out on our list. There's so much to do there. And there's so much more in Malaysia as well. There are areas that you can go outside of the city for day trips or to go spend time in other areas. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you a little sneak peek of a travel opportunity from Saigon, and I will catch you in the next one.